Alright guys, it's the Supreme Chancellor Omega here with Crimson Dawn. I wanted to do a real quick video today to show you guys how to install a blade on a few different styles of Crimson Dawn sabers, pretty much any saber, and just give you an overview of some of the basic concepts and what we're trying to do. Um, so basically this right here is an S emitter or slant emitter. You can see there. It's where the emitter has sort of a cutaway. This particular emitter is going to have 3 retention screws. You have one here, and one there. This guy here, you can use a thumb screw or leave open or put something in. It's generally not used for blade retention on this particular model. But you insert your blade like so. If you look here, you can kind of see that the blade is now seated down past the screw hole. So that way, whenever you thread your retention screw in, it's gonna put pressure on the blade there at that contact point. I used the long side to get it started. Make sure it's all the way seated against the chassis in there, or the LED. Get it kind of hand tight. Flip it over to do the other side. Go here. We get it hand tight. Flip it over to do that centerpiece here. Using the long side of your wrench, you get it hand tight. And then you flip your wrench over, use the short side, and we'll go back and put another turn or two on each one. And there you go. Now you got your your 3 retention screws in. Trying to get it close up there. 1, 2, 3. So you got your 3 retention screws in now. It holds. You got your 3 retention screws in now. It holds pretty tight. It's not going to come out. You could do some dueling. You can do whatever you want. Every now and then, if you're going to do some pretty heavy dueling, you're going to want to go back and use the short side of your wrench and add another turn, tighten them up a little bit more, readjust them, maybe pull your blade out, spin it a little bit so you're not in that hole that you're pressing in. Spin the blade and then get another good bite down on those retention screws. But that is basically how you install it on that particular saber. I brought a couple of different couple of different emitters that we sell out. This is a Dragoon emitter. You can see the Dragoon emitter has 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 or 5 retention holes on it that are in a slightly different spot. Generally, we recommend you also have one here. Generally, we recommend that you use 2 holes somewhere on there. Two is kind of the rule of thumb, the rule of 2, so to speak. You got 2 on a twilight emitter, 2 on a talon emitter. It's got a couple spinning around, but some of those are in the LED at times, depending on the setup. You got 2 on a prowler emitter. One of our newer sabers here. These, all these holes are threaded. Not sure if they're showing up good on camera, but all these holes around here are threaded. You can either use them to allow a light to pass through, or you can use them as retention holes. It all depends on what you're going to be doing. If you're going to be doing dueling or flow, you really want to torque down those holes. If you're going to be doing something real light, it's not as necessary. Cosplay, it's not as necessary. You really just want it to be kind of hand tight. That way you can take it in and out. You never want to force anything. If you're feeling a lot of resistance, you're probably stripping a screw. The silver Allen wrenches that ship with most of our products are really soft. The screws are relatively soft, so they pair really well. The idea is that you'll round out your Allen wrench before you round out your screw. It's much easier to replace this Allen wrench than it is to try to get a strip screw out of an emitter. So we do sell another one on the website here. This is a much higher quality Bondus wrench. The highest quality wrench. This is what we actually use here in the shop. But again, you have to be careful. We only use these on repairs and maintenance. We do not use those during assembly, because if we were to torque your retention screws or your button screws with a Bondus wrench, and then send you you have one of these to try to get it out, there's a chance that you'll round your Allen wrench trying to get that screw out. So we do all our assembly work. We do all our assembly work with the silver, the softer metal, and we do all our maintenance work with this just to make sure it's done right. And we can get pesky screws. Generally, when you send us a saber, we pull all your retention screws out and replace them with new ones, because they've all been turned on or rounded up a little bit. And the movie hilts are the same. That they're going to have retention screws all around. And again, it's very common to use the retention screws for light as well. So you'll see some that have some emitters have 5 because they need 5, and some emitters have 5 because they need 2, and the other ones are used for windows, so to speak. NeoPixel, I did bring a NeoPixel blade out to kind of show you guys that. Very, very similar. As a matter of fact, it's exactly the same. You insert your NeoPixel blade. The only difference with the NeoPixel is once it's in, you're going to want to push it because it does spring in a little, and that is the PCB making contact with the pins on the NeoPixel, and you're going to kind of want to hold it with it sprung in and start your screws. But other than that, it's exactly the same. As usual, if you have any questions, email us at service@crimsondawn.com. I also threw these out here just so you guys can kind of see these. Same concept. These are just thumb screws. We're going to have, we have a million of these in the shop right now. We're probably going to put them for sale on the website just for people who want to use them. I just kind of got this one threaded in there so you can see how it works. It's very common if you're going to be doing a lot of dueling and you're going to be taking blades in and out, maybe switching between a mid-grade or a heavy grade, or going from 7/8 to 1 inch. You would use a thumb screw. They make it a lot easier to swap, but from a cosmetic standpoint, some people don't care for them. But we are going to have thumb screws available online, for those guys who want them. But again, as I was saying, email us service@crimsondawn.com, or Facebook, any form of social media, and let us know any of your questions, comments, or concerns. And thanks for watching.